Hello and welcome to a time special presentation where we explore real world lessons from the classic Tamil text Thirukkural with motivational speaker, author, and diversity champion Bharathi Baskar as she explores the masterpiece. Mental wellness enables us to have better relationships with the people in our lives, work productively, and make meaningful contributions to family, friends, and society at large. But in the words of actor Glenn Close, what mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversation. And that's what we discuss in this week's Thirukkural with the Times, where we explore mental wellness and Saint Thiruvalluvar's take on it.
I recently watched K. Balachander's magnum opus movie, Edirneechal, on a TV channel. Edirneechal is the story of an orphan boy, Madhu, who runs errands in a house and achieves a meteoric rise through sheer hard work. Edirneechal is the story of an orphan boy, Madhu, who runs errands in a house and achieves a meteoric rise through his sheer hard work. The protagonist falls in love with a girl, Paru, who lives in the same complex. Everybody is scared of her because she had spent years and years in a mental asylum before returning home to live with her parents. Madhu, am I mad? Why is everyone scared of me? Asks Paru. And Madhu replies, all those who label you as lunatic are lunatics themselves, Paru. You're the most sensible person I have met. I loved K. Balachander's courage to feature a person who has taken treatment at a mental asylum as his heroine means the man had courage. To feature a person who has taken a treatment at a mental asylum as his heroine means the man had courage. KB took the movie 40 years earlier, but nothing much has changed about our attitude towards people who acknowledge their mental illness. Their kith and kin trivialize them, and society is still careless and ignorant. With this exciting exception, literature and art have mostly crudely portrayed mental health issues. In Ken Kesey's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, patients in a mental institution are repeatedly subject to shock therapy sessions, the recommended treatment for all kinds of mental health issues those days. If you read Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar, the protagonist Esther has mental depression. Her mother blames her for over-exaggerating the problem. Sylvia Plath might have been suffering from depression herself. The author, one day, prepared breakfast for her children, fed them, left them in a faraway place, came back and blew her head in the kitchen using the gas cylinder. In many cases, society's apathy and lack of understanding of people with mental health issues have been gruesome, to say the least. As a child, I lived in a storehouse in Thiruvalluvar in Chennai. There were 3 houses and Jayamma was the maid for all the 3 homes. Jayamma went to her village and found a bride for her son. When Rukku, the bride, entered our house, the entire Triplicane was stunned by her beauty. The entire Thiruvalluvar was stunned by her beauty. We have seen such traffic-stopping beauties only in movies. Within 6 months, Rukku was running away from the home and was screaming in the streets. No one thought she had a mental wellness issue. Everyone was convinced that an evil spirit had possessed her, and Ghostbusters started coming to the house. I still shudder to think about those nights when the eerie silence was broken by Rukku's screams when the exorcist brutally beat her. Viktor Frankl, 1905 to 1997, was perhaps one of the early psychiatrists who tried different treatment methods to save people from mental depression. He was an Austrian psychiatrist and a Holocaust survivor. He is most recognized for counseling women patients who have serious suicidal tendencies. A famous story about him was the case of a woman who called him at midnight to declare that she was going to commit suicide. She refused to give her address. Viktor Frankl slowly, gently made her speak to him by asking simple questions about her life, her personality, her likes and dislikes. The conversation went on and on for 4 hours. As the new day dawned, the woman agreed to give up the idea of suicide. Frankl invited her to his clinic the next day and asked her what made her change her mind. The woman said she was meeting someone for the first time in her life who had the time to listen to her. So just by listening, he was able to convince her to give up the idea of suicide. Post this incident, Dr. Frankl coined the term positive psychology that comes closest to the word we have today for a healthy mind, mental wellness. Though this concept and term arrived much later in Western culture, it was identified and mentioned in Indian literature very early. I was actually surprised that a term for mental well-being existed in Tamil 2000 years ago. If there was a word for it, then the concept of mental wellness should have been there all along in our land. Thiruvalluvar uses this term. He declares that being in the company of people who care for you gives you glory. Likewise, mental wellness of an individual gives glory to the entire humanity. Mananalam, Mannuyirkk, Aakkam. Inanalam, Pugazhum, Tharum. Mental wellness is the greatest resource for humanity, while good company contributes to the glory.